Hey, what's going on, guys? The Five Shadows here with some more Warframe. Today's video is going to be a guide on relics, how to farm them, why you need them, best ways to get prime parts, all that good stuff. This is going to be mostly for newer players. Veteran players will probably know most of this information, but if you are a veteran player, I would appreciate it if you stick around and leave me some tips down in the comments, or let me know if I missed something. That would be awesome, because it would help me out a lot as well. I've been playing this game for about 6 months now, so since like Christmas 2016, so I'm still pretty new, like compared to a lot of players. I'm real new, and I've been furiously trying to gather all the prime parts I can recently, and I figured it's a good time to make this video because TennoCon is coming up, and Barrow is going to be at TennoCon with his entire inventory that he's ever brought before. Which for new players like me is freaking awesome, because it means I can catch up on all of the Barrow goodness all at once. So I'm really excited for that, and I can't wait to get in there, but I need enough ducats. So let's go over it real quick. There's 4 kinds of relics: Lith, Meso, Neo, and Axii, and these relics give you prime parts when you open them during fissure missions. And they can also give you Forma blueprints, as a side note, which is really good. Formas are awesome. You use them to build a lot of weapons from the clan dojo, and you use them you put them in your weapons in order to make it so you can have more mod capacity, basically, or use more expensive mods and whatnot. So for all those tasty prime mods that Barrow has, Formas are important. But anyway, the reason you want the prime versions of things is because usually the prime version is a base upgrade over the original, and that's pretty much why you would want that. So Lith relic, the different types of relics basically drop on different planets. So Lith is from like Earth to Ceres, and Meso is, you know, Ceres to Saturn. But anyway, so we take a look at this normal Trinity. She's got armor 15, health 100, power 150, and shields 100 as a base. And then basically Trinity Prime has an extra 50 base shields, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it does scale better with mods that give you shield, like redirection. I couldn't think of the name for a second there, which is dumb with me. And Primes also come with more polarities, which is great, because as you can see there, Trinity Prime comes with 4, I think, and that means you don't have to forma as much, which is great. So you can save yourself some formas and still have builds that require more mod capacity. So that's why primes are great. So let's go ahead and start with farming. For Lith relics, I come over here to Spear on Mars. It's a really easy defense mission. You can easily solo it, even if you're a brand new player. You can also put it on public, and usually you'll find 1 or 2 people doing it. Or you can do it with your friends, either way. The less people you have, the less enemies spawn, so if you're solo, you'll get less enemies, which means less things to kill before the next round starts. So it might be a little faster to solo, it's up to you. And you can also do stuff like bring Ember or Banshee with the augment for her 4, which murders everything on the map, or, you know, whatever strategy you like to use to murder everything on the map, will make that go real fast. Oh, I should probably explain, so the best ways to get relics are endless missions. So survival, defense, interception, and excavation. And the way endless missions work in this game is there are rotations of 4 rewards. So on survival, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and 20 minutes. You get a reward at each of those, and that's a full cycle. And there are 3 rotations in that cycle. So rotation A is going to be the first 2 rewards. So 5 minutes and 10 minutes on survival, wave 5 and 10 on defense, of course. And then rotation B is going to be the 3rd reward, so 15 minutes on survival, 15 waves on defense, and rotation C is going to be the 4th reward, which is going to be 20 minutes on survival, and so on. You know, round 4 on interception, the 4th extractor on excavation. Pretty self-explanatory. So that's important because usually relics will not drop on all of the rotations, or specific relics will drop on specific rotations, so it's important to know how rotations work in this game. So on Spear on Mars, Lith relics have a really good chance to drop from rotation A, so waves 5 and 10. So what I usually do is I will go in for 10 waves, leave, and then restart the mission, just to save time, because rotations B and C can drop Meso relics, but it's not a super great chance to drop Mesa Relics, and there's another node that we'll talk about in just a second that drops more, that has a much better chance to drop Mesos basically. So it's more efficient to just go in for 10 waves and then reset the mission. And that brings us to Io on Jupiter, which is where I farm for my Mesa Relics. This is again a really easy defense mission, very low level against Corpus, and the same strategy applies. You can go solo, you can bring Ember or Banshee or whoever, or you can play with friends, doesn't matter. If you're leveling weapons and stuff, you can bring friends, is better because you get more enemies, which means you get more affinity. So if you're trying to multitask like that. But anyway, Io has on rotation A, so waves 5 and 10, has about an 80% chance to drop a Mesa Relic, which is real good. So occasionally you'll get a mod, or something besides a relic. Io can also drop Neo Relics on rotations B and C, but I generally would prefer not to farm Neo Relics there. There's some better places that we will talk about in a little bit. So again, same thing as Spear, I generally go for 10 waves and then leave. So next, let's talk about where I farm my Neo and Axii Relics, and I do both of those on Zini Eris. Now this is an interception mission, so you have to capture all 4 points. You can solo this, it's pretty easy. I usually do it with Frost just because you can put a bubble up on the interception point and the infested it'll slow the infested down so that it takes them a lot longer to take it back from you, which is great if you're soloing. I will say it's a lot faster if you have a group. So especially if you have a group of like 3 or 4 and everyone can basically hold their own point, especially if you have 4 people, you can get these done really quick and knock it out. So rotation A for Zini has about a 60% chance to drop Neo Relics, but rotations B and C have a 100% chance to drop Axii Relics. So you're guaranteed Axii Relics on waves 3 and 4 on Zini, and that's fantastic, and that's why I farm my Axii Relics there. And I personally have a lot of Neo Relics for some reason, so I end up just kind of getting Neo Relics as I'm farming my Axii Relics on Zini. But there are some other places where you can farm Neo Relics a bit easier, have a bit higher drop chance. I will talk about in just a second. So those are kind of the main 3 that I use for all 4 relic types. There's a few other places that are also good though. So let's go over to the Derelict over here. So defense and survival on the Derelict are pretty good. I like survival because I enjoy it more than defense personally, but it's up to you really. It doesn't matter either way. So survival, rotation A has a chance to drop Lith Relics. You can also get like 300 Indo or something, which is not bad for new players. Rotation B can drop Neos, and rotation C can drop Axies. So you can just stay in for 20 or 40 minutes or however long you want, and you have a pretty good chance to just get relics. Or you can go in for 10 minutes at a time and hopefully get 2 Lith Relics each time. So it's a pretty good Lith Relic farm. Okay for just if you want lots of relics. You can get a relic on every single reward. So you can also get like Mutalist Algae Nav coordinates, which you need to farm Mesa. So if you haven't farmed Mesa yet, that's not a bad one either. The next one I want to talk about is also Lith Relics, and it's Everest on Earth, which is an excavation, and it's like the easiest excavation in the game because it's level 1 starting out. I wouldn't recommend this solo. If you're solo, I would just go to Spear because Spear has a higher chance to drop Lith Relics. But if you have a group of 3 or 4, to where once you get going in the excavation mission, you can break off and have 3 excavators going at once and defend them all because the enemies are so low level, you can go really fast on Everest. And so you can rack up relics pretty quickly that way because it doesn't take very long to get to like 20 extractions or 30 extractions. So that is pretty awesome. So, but again, I would only do that if you have a group of at least 3, I would say, because that way you can defend 3 extractors at once. The next one I wanted to talk about is Heracon on Pluto. This one's really good for farming Neo and Axii relics. I usually find you get Neos on rotation B and Axies on rotation C. It's also a dark sector, so you get 20,000 credits for completing it, which is fantastic. And you can also get 400 Indo on rotation A, which is great for new players. And if you're solo, this is usually a populated node, so you can go in on a public match and Usually you will match with people, and usually they will also be farming relics. So that's a good way if you don't want to deal with recruiting chat, or if your friends aren't online, or if you don't have friends like me. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, that's a really good one. Just for stuff in general, you can get Indo money, of course, Neo and Axie relics. So really good node, usually populated. Another one you can do, which is not populated, like if you haven't gotten through the star chart yet, is, I don't know how to say this, so it's Cholistan, I don't know how to pronounce that, I apologize. It's another dark sector, so you get money. It's not as much as Heracon on Pluto. I don't know how to pronounce that one either. I should just probably stop trying. But anyway, same thing, you can get Neos and Axies from this. I don't think the drop chance is as high on Heracon and Pluto, so take it that. Basically, I did that a little bit before I got all the way through the star chart, and I was like, oh look, relics! Even though I don't have access to most of the tier 4 fissures, but anyway, another good one is Stefano on Uranus. There's a joke there somewhere, probably. Anyway, this one's often a fissure, a tier 3 fissure or a Neo fissure, so that's a good one to do. Usually you can get Neos on rotation A and Axies on rotation B and C. It's a pretty good chance. So I mean, you can just kind of try these out and decide for yourself which ones you like best. So let's talk about actually farming the prime parts. Now that we have our relics out of the way, we've farmed up enough relics, let's talk about farming prime parts efficiently. So if you come over here to your menu, you'll see a list of active fissures. Now the quickest possible fissure is going to be capture. You can bring a Volt for speed boost, and if it's low level you can bring like an Ember just to murder everything. You can real quickly take out the capture target, get 10 reactant and extract, and it only takes a few minutes. But I personally prefer endless fissures just because they give you rewards. So endless fissures, basically each relic you open gives you like a little bonus extra, which is pretty good for new players. So you get stuff like affinity booster for the rest of the mission, credit booster, resource drop chance booster, and then every 5th reward, or every 5th relic you crack open, on an endless fissure will guarantee give you a relic that's upgraded. So at the 5th reward, say on survival, 25 minutes, you will get a relic that's been upgraded one time, basically. So an exceptional relic of the type of fissure you're on. So if it's like a tier 2 fissure, you'll get an exceptional Mesa relic. And then at 10 rewards, you will get a flawless relic, and at 15 you will get a radiant relic. So you get free relics back, which is not bad, honestly. So that's a pretty good way to do it, to make it a little more efficient. You get some relics back. The other way to make it really efficient to farm prime parts is if any of the places that I've talked about for farming relics are a fissure themselves, then you can go in, say Io on Jupiter is a fissure. Then you can go into Io as a fissure, spend 2 Mesa relics for 10 waves, leave and go back, and you hopefully get 2 Mesa relics back. So basically you won't be spending anything, and you'll get 2 prime parts out of the deal, which is a really good way to do it. So just to make it more efficient, so you won't run out of relics so fast, so that means you don't have to farm as much. Because farming relics can get a little boring, if I do say so myself. I usually just blast some music really loud and spend a few hours doing it at a time. But anyway, so another thing you can do, one thing that helps is you can go into recruiting chat, and you can say like LF, which means looking for Meso Farm IO, right? And then if people want to do that, they can reply to you. You can put a number by it, like 888 or something, and then people will type in 888 in response. You can send them an invite, and then you'll get a group of people looking to do the same type of thing you are, right? So Zini, you can say LF Axie Farm Zini, right? Stuff like that. Or LF Relic Farm Heracon Pluto. Another thing you can do is jump into trade chat. This is only if you have platinum. I personally wouldn't really recommend it, because I like to spend my platinum on fashion frame, but you can do it. So you can go into trade chat and say like 1 plat for trash prime parts. And it's mostly going to be bronze prime parts that are worth 15 ducats. But if you spend say 50 platinum, you can get 50 parts. That's quite a bit of ducats, and you basically didn't do any hard work. So if you're willing to spend real life money, you can do that. I personally wouldn't recommend it, but it's whatever. That's because I like to spend my real life money on platinum, or real life money that I spend on platinum I like to spend on fashion frame, but that's just me. Alright, so another thing I feel like I should mention real quick is that it's always better to do fissures in groups of 4, because that means you have 4 relics opening up and you get to choose from 4 different rewards. So that means that even if nobody upgraded their relics, that means you get a better chance of getting a higher level reward, which means more ducats, basically. Or you just need that gold drop to finish whatever prime part you're working on. Like I know Vobin Prime has a lot of gold drops. You know, Banshee Prime has like 2 gold drops to make Banshee Prime, so always doing it in a group of 4 is recommended. Usually in public groups, public matches, you won't be going for very long, usually like 4 or 5 relics open max in a public match, because people aren't planning to go for that for a whole long. So if you can get a group together or jump into a recruiting chat, then you can go for like an hour or 2 if you want. You can also solo for like an hour, which I do occasionally. The only problem with soloing is that, you know, whatever you get is what you get. You don't get a choice, so you could potentially miss out on some good drops there. The other thing is I would recommend going, if you're going to play on public for fissures, I would recommend planning to stay for at least like 4 relics. Just because a lot of the other people who are in public are also trying to farm you know, void, or they're trying to farm prime parts rather, and you know, they're trying to have the best chance of getting stuff, so they want to stay in a group of 4. So especially like survival, you know, don't do 1 relic and then run to the exit without telling anybody, and then just stand there at extraction and wait for them, because, you know, they're probably trying to do it in a group of 4. You know, they're probably trying to go for at least, you know, 3 or 4 relics, and they're probably just gonna not I mean, one of them might be nice enough to follow you to extraction and force everyone out, but a lot of people are going to just stay in and do their thing because they came to do relics. And that they put it on public because they wanted a group of 4. So the other thing that it hurts is when you run to extraction, it breaks up the enemy spawns really bad, so it can make it really hard to get enough air, so you might end up just failing the mission and no one gets anything. Or nobody gets enough reactant because there's no enemies spawning by the people that are still trying to do the relic. So don't be like that if you have to leave for whatever reason and it's really early in the mission. You know, type in chat like, hey, I gotta go, real life happens, or whatever, you know. People understand. Just don't try to leave like immediately 5 minutes in. Or if you have to, you know, just type in chat and let people know that you gotta go. If you just have to go to like the bathroom or something, people understand if you're gonna be AFK for like a minute or 2. It's not a big deal. But if you legit have to go, then that's also understandable. Just try to let people know instead of just straight up leaving, because they're not gonna understand you just standing in extraction. They're gonna think you're just trying to leave for no reason. But anyway, that's gonna pretty much do it for the video. Like, super long video, I know. If you made it to the end, congratulations, you're awesome. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye.